All right, let's speak to Hasina, who witnessed all the drama. Hasina, one of the things was that the first minute we hear about these phone calls that the attorney, is said to have received, we hear Advocate Teffo talking about his, his safety, and then straight after the proceedings, he's arrested. What happened?
So, as you know, we came from lunch. The cross-examination still going on. He tried to bring in new evidence, and then that was said, you can't bring this into. And then him stepping aside and saying that his instructing attorney would like to now address the court and speaking about those intimidation and fear for their lives, saying that since the other lawyers were taken out, the watching instructing attorney was taken out, they've now been getting calls as well as, messages. They were told now that there might be an imminent arrest, and Advocate Teffo was not feeling okay. We saw it wrapping up because it was also almost 3 o'clock. And as we all started winding down and, getting ready to leave as well, we see the IO and a lot of police officers. In those visuals, you can see the amount of force that came into that court. It was unclear at first what those charges were, why he was being, arrested. And they were adamant. They were taking him down into those cells, and he was going to be charged. So that's what we saw coming out. We asked if his rights were read out. We asked, if we knew what charges were, and they refused to even read out those charges. You heard even the state prosecutor saying, but why now? Even the defense attorney, trying to assist, trying to reason. And at one point I heard the IO tell him, we're not here to negotiate. We are not here to negotiate with you. Let's go, come. So this was just that build-up of all this that's been happening. And as you heard from John Clark, this is not the first time he's been arrested. Last year, there was at least 2 arrests within a few weeks. In his, voice note to us as well, telling us, those 2 different charges and saying that, he had done or followed the law with regards to this. This is a fraudulent warrant. We told that he's, asked his attorney to go and get that, letters to show that he's made to court, and this summons have been now scrapped, so to show there's a cancellation of this, and this was not right. And speaking to both John Clark as well as other legal advocates that we spoke to, this is such a show of force. It's so unnatural. It seemed as if they wanted to come and arrest him while he was cross-examination, and I feel that it's such a it's a place of work, and it was a show of force, as we heard from them speaking.
And Hasina, one of the things, though, that is also clear is that he, he does have somewhat of a controversial past, because if you check him and some of his, tensions with the SAPS, there's a lot of that. At the same time, I'm listening to him, you are talking to him, he says the police minister doesn't seem to want him on the case. He also alludes to the National Police Commissioner. It's the same thing that he said to us as well here on the show, saying that he does believe there was interference here. Does he say why?
He doesn't go into much detail at this point. Even in his messages, he says they know what will come out. But, speaking to people that know him and around him in the kind of cases that he does cover, he was a police officer himself. He's worked in labor law specifically, but also whistleblowers specifically within the police, structures. And it feels that he's, created some kind of animosity with the top brass, within the police. And also looking at just the line of questioning with Sergeant Thabo Mosia, today's kind of a line of questioning went into saying that while you may not have, cleaned up or tampered with any evidence, there could be a suggestion that you were only called, 4 or 5 hours after the incident, when they've already created or staged a crime scene for you to now record a specific narrative, kind of alluding to maybe that the top brass of Gauteng as well as government were involved in a cover-up or in tampering with evidence at the Senzo Meyiwa case.
And Hasina, I hope that we get to know, because when he mentioned this in court, I guess a lot of us are wondering who he claims was part of that particular meeting, if he's got the names of who he says was in the room planning to even stage this crime scene. But let's leave it there for now and see how this case develops, because it does look like we are in for some quite turbulent times. That was Hasina Kori, SABC News specialist reporter, who was watching developments in that particular court case, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, very closely.